I was just playing my cards. I'm taking.
It's week 16 of the NFL, and we'll be watching Terry McLaurin. He starts play fourth in the NFL in receiving yardage. It's the Commanders and the 49ers next on Madden NFL 23.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the so-called Silicon Valley and Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the Washington Commanders and the San Francisco 49ers. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand, and CD, you look at Washington coming into play here. They have a tremendous aerial attack, one of the best in the league, but they're going to face a stiff test here.
I don't think that they'll face a tougher test all season long because this is the #1 defense in the NFL, a team that puts a lot of pressure on a quarterback, and we know from talking to both of these teams, neither of them's going to back down from this challenge.
Season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. And no run back here, so they'll bring it out to the 25. So here are the Commanders making their way out. They'll be brought out by a player who was undrafted back in 2015 out of Old Dominion. Last season, his first as a starter, it's Taylor Heineke.
Okay, I thought there was something to build on in last week's game by his performance. I thought he played fairly well overall. The numbers won't knock your socks off. 2 touchdown passes and an interception. The bottom line, though, they lost.
Yeah.
How does he eliminate that one interception, continue to take care of the ball, and maybe increase the number of times he puts the ball in the end zone with a receiver?
Throwing to start out is Heineke. That's going to be complete on the sideline, but, you know, that throw left him no room to run, and the good footwork nearly all for naught. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and it's second down. This defense for the Niners, they were terrific a week ago in the win over Seattle.
And they needed to be because the game was a game we don't see very often anymore. Low score.
And right away, he lost the football. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. He's going to have to shake out the cobwebs. First time he touches the football, and he drops it on the ground.
So many times we talk about quarterbacks and taking care of them early to get them in the flow with safe throws, right? But with a runner, there is no such thing as a safe run, right? Right out of the gate, you're going to be in some traffic. You got to take care of the ball, and he didn't do that.
On first down, this is McCaffrey. And he's able to carve out about 6 there, down to the 37. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down. But, Charles, as we've covered, they've already clinched their spot in the postseason, so now they just want to avoid adding any additional names to this list before the postseason begins.
Terrific observation, because trying to move up a spot, I don't know if it's worth it if you're trying to play guys who aren't quite right. Get them healthy, get ready for the playoffs, make your move then.
The first catch of the game for George Kittle. And he's going to have a Niners first down. They needed 3. He doubled that. He got 6. The Niners at 11-3 on the year. And they come in feeling pretty good after back-to-back victories, CD.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. Throwing now is Garoppolo. And trying to get it to Samuel, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Super Bowl 49 hero Malcolm Butler. And the Commanders are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50. So the interception there. And, Charles, I'd imagine that's something you can maybe live with in December, but not come January.
And I love how you make the distinction there. You're talking about regular season versus the postseason, the playoffs. Because these guys, they've already clinched a playoff spot, but they know, looking ahead, when they get into the postseason, they've got to take better care of the football because turnovers in that situation, they really become magnified.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Heineke now. That one to the sideline, and a nice catch there. He stays in bounds, but a penalty marker is down as well.
That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against him.
Heineke.
Flushed out right. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage.
Second down and a run by Robinson.
Yeah, looks like a pickup of 6. That leaves him with 7 yards to go on 3rd down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
They need to get this to the 24 on 3rd down. Now Heineke. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Thrown back across his body. Picked up by the former first-rounder Jimmy Ward. And the 49ers are going to get it back here just shy of the 20.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway.
And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive in particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after it's...
He's got him in! Complete! Touchdown, 49ers!
Well, this is exactly where I expect teams to take a shot. Right after a turnover, you count on the defense being a little bit jumbled coming out on the field, maybe catch them back on their heels, and that's exactly what they did there. They threw it downfield and really created a big play.
You said jumbled. They were the definition of jumbled defensively. One play and into the end zone. Gold able to tack on the extra point. And that makes the score 7-0. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away.
And Gibson decides against bringing it out.
Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis.
And a short pickup to about the 27. It'll be second down.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
To throw is Heineke. He'll get this into the hands of Antonio Gibson.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
15 yards the pickup. First down, Washington.
We often talk about understanding the playbook, understanding progressions, and understanding what the defense is doing. We saw all of that on that play. Great recognition and understood where his running back was going to be. Found a way to have him leak out underneath, hit him with the football, and they picked up the first down.
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Washington with the football here to begin quarter number 2. As they've got a 2nd and 8 forthcoming. They'll run again here with Robinson. And a lane slow and materializing there as he'll get maybe a yard up to the 45. Christmas Eve here in 2022. A big slate today of Saturday games. But we will have, ready for this, a triple header of action on Christmas Day tomorrow. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line.
Hey, I'm all about defense forcing plays and getting takeaways. But an interception and 2 fumbles in their last 3 offensive possessions.
Time to readjust?
Yeah, you can't just give all the credit to the defense on that. They've got to look in the mirror and take a blame themselves and figure out how to not do it anymore.
After the fumble recovery, it's Garoppolo. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. Looked like some hands both ways. They got it on the offense.
Sometimes there's a fine line between being the receiver and the DB, and he knocked that one away. Might have caused an incompletion that could have been an interception.
Up the gut, McCaffrey. And he'll be taken down at the 34. It's a gain of 3, and it'll be 2nd down. Garoppolo looks to throw. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Shotgun handoff now to McCaffrey. And he'll take this one down to the 36. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down. So Garoppolo off. Coming on is the veteran Robbie Gould for the 49er field goal. And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. So that, Charles, a season long right there.
And you know who's really excited about that? The special teams coordinator, because he's the one who has to tell the head coach in pregame, this is where we trust him from. This distance, he can hit it. And he repaid that trust by knocking that one right through.
And Gibson decides against bringing it out. Now we get another look at Washington on offense. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. Had one tell me once, when we're having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and if finally we kept having a rough patch, he said, but you got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. From the 30 on 2nd down, Heineke, and he coughed it up, and now this is scooped up by the 49ers. Loose inside the 30, and the return will stop right around the 25.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
Here we go. Go ahead.
Now a play fake. Garoppolo. That ball caught. Brandon Ayuk. And he's going to be taken down right at the 10-yard line. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. McCaffrey running up the middle. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On play action, now Garoppolo. The tight end Kittle has it on the left side. And he'll wind up getting about 6 out of that, as that's going to lead us to the 2-minute warning. And that's good for a gain of 6. And now 1 yard to go on 3rd down. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown. Christian McCaffrey, his 11th rushing touchdown on the year. And his guy's now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. Now Gold for the extra point. He's got it, and it's 17-0. So that drive, 4 plays. And the last play on the drive, the touchdown run from Christian McCaffrey. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. And Gibson decides against bringing it out. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. A handoff running left is Gibson. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. 3rd and short yardage, Heineke. He's going to drop this one down to Gibson. And he's going to be a yard short. A 2-yard pickup leads to 4th and 1.
A short gain that doesn't get him the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So on 4th down, Washington going to call on Tress Way to punt it away. Back to return it, Christian McCaffrey. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. This will be fielded at the 17. Call that a 46-yard punt with a net of 40 on the 6-yard return. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10.
Here we go, here we go, here we go.
On play action, it's Garoppolo. Trying for Ayuk, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Super Bowl 49 hero Malcolm Butler. So that potentially an important takeaway here in this 2nd quarter.
Because what it does is give their offense a chance to put a drive together. They've got nothing on the scoreboard so far, so you have to think that they need something before the break. And now they have an opportunity.
And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. From the 24, Heineke. And that one's going to be off target and incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have now allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. Well, the Niners going back on offense now late in this first half. And with a 17-3 cushion already, we'll see how aggressive they want to be. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Taking a shot for Samuel. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down. To throw again on second down. Garoppolo got a man right side. It's McCaffrey. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. Garoppolo now. And able to haul it in is Kittle. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. It's an 11-yard pickup. Thought they'd run it on 3rd and 1. Not the case.
Here we go.
And they line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half. Garoppolo, a final shot here before half. Man open, that's Ray McCloud. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. Fight.
They'll throw now on the final play. He's going to rifle one deep left side. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So we've reached halftime here. Let's throw in a broadcaster cliche, shall we? Both teams looking for a gift on Christmas Eve. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. Some great games coming up on Sunday, highlighted by a 1 o'clock matchup in Miami. A good test for the Dolphins as they'll take on the always tough Green Bay Packers. Excellent games in the late afternoon window as well. One being out in Los Angeles, where it'll be the Rams taking on the Denver Broncos. Then on Sunday night, wrap up your Christmas day with a great one in the NFC. The Bucs and Cardinals at 8:20 Eastern Time. On now to a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for Washington. And they will need to get this passing game in gear because they did not do much of anything in that first half. And it's why the scoreline is what it is. Meanwhile, for the Niners, we check out their numbers on the ground as they'll try to keep the momentum going into the second half. Both these teams, no doubt, making their final halftime adjustments as we speak. And for the call of the second half, we get it back out to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. It's the 49ers out in front, and they will get the football first as well as we are back and started in the second half. Returning from his end zone is Ray McCloud. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. The 49er offense set to go to begin quarter number 3. This offense set to begin the third quarter. And, Charles, if they had a checklist of things they wanted to accomplish in the first half, certainly at the top of that list would be having the lead, and they've got that here.
That's always the most important box to check, isn't it? But also, they've had some success in their passing game, so probably an empty box establishing the run. They're on pace for fewer than 100 yards in this one. So now they want to make sure that they get that going so they truly have a control in this ball game. And down the stretch, being able to be balanced. Either throw it or run it and try and win this ball game.
Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
That's another beautiful throw right there. Gets it to his man right in stride. And I think that throw kind of exemplifies what we've seen from this offense throughout this game. They've been in rhythm. They've been sharp. They've been on it. And they pick up another first down there.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Play action. Garoppolo. His throw incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
He's going to drop this down to McCaffrey, and they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. So the completion good for 7 there. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the 1st down. Now to be 4th and short.
Here we go with McCaffrey. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the 1st. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. So a bold call, but this drive will forge on. 1st and 10 after the 4th down conversion. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. 15 for the Niners there and a 1st down. Well, Christian McCaffrey is as tough to bring down as they come at the running back position, and he proved it right there.
Yeah, this defense has had its share of problems getting guys to the ground, and here's another example. They never should have allowed this play to gain as many yards as it did, but poor tackling early in the play led to big yardage after the fact.
In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. He'll get this out right here to McCaffrey. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. He's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
And he gets it down to the 32. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense gets a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard.
21.
Garoppolo now, 1st down throw. This will be caught at Samuel. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
And he's got his man in stride, complete. And the 49ers are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up for the 1st and goal.
Here we go.
Looking to throw, Garoppolo. And it's complete. In the end zone, touchdown 49ers. Ring McCloud. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the 49ers take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Gold with the extra point, and the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. First possession of the 2nd half now for Washington. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Line of scrimmage, the 28 now as they come up on 2nd and a couple. They'll run this one right with Robinson. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here in Santa Clara. And this offense on third down today, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. Here it's 3rd and 2. And that is incomplete. Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. Always got some breathing room. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
Gibson gets hit and he fumbles it. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And the return stops at the 39-yard line. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the 4th. It doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline is still scratching his head. Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help them improve. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. This is McCaffrey on the give. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. That one good for 26 and a 1st down. This is something you got to be wary of defensively. I mean, just because they're in the mode of trying to burn some clock doesn't mean they won't pass it. They got good yardage out of that one.
Yeah, and really, when you're looking at it, now they've got a fresh set of downs. Look for 2nd down. If they want to take another shot and try and loosen things up, that'd be the time to do it.
Now a give, right side McCaffrey. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. They fake the give. Now Garoppolo looks to throw. And he hauls it in the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco. 3 touchdown passes now for Jimmy Garoppolo. And the Niners are closing in on a 3rd straight win as they widen the gap further here in the 4th quarter. Gold to add the extra point. And that'll increase their lead to 28. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it's polished off by a touchdown for San Francisco. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
On 3rd and 1, here's Heineke. They'll set up the screen for Gibson. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. To the air again, Heineke. Got a man, it's De'Ami Brown, complete. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it's 2nd down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Washington with the football here as we welcome you back. 2nd down at 4. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Heineke eluding the pressure right. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Now Heineke. That's going to be caught by Samuel. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 44-yard line. A first down throw for Heineke. He's going to let this one go deep. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call.
Personal foul, roughing the passer.
Well, that frustration, Charles, it's been building on the defensive side of the ball, and unfortunately there, it turns into a roughing the passer penalty.
Yeah, and they should be frustrated because he's picked them apart the entire game, but it's got to come out in a different way. You can't...
Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Picked up by Charvarius Ward. There he goes, left side. And into the end zone. A pick 6 for the 49er D as they score the touchdown. Well, this one was already ugly, and now it's just kind of becoming a feast on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, partner, this is a unit that knows they've got this game in the bag with this huge lead, and it's going to drive their coaches crazy because they're telling them play it straight, do all the right things, but these guys are going to be freewheeling now. All of them are going to take chances, and that one pays off with an INT and a return for 6.
Now Gold for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Commanders' offense set to take over. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going
forward. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it because...
You're not going to want that feeling.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it. But he is able to keep the feet in bounds. And this was a really nice display, Charles, of complimentary football, especially how much they were humming in the second half to pull away and get the victory. Really a complete performance.
It's so much fun when you're able to have everyone contribute, both sides of the ball. You go back in the locker room and you just savor it, right? Because that's what football's all about. A true team game. And they got it done in this one.
So for San Francisco, the wins keep coming as this one moves them to 12-3 on the year. And they will hit the road next week. Meanwhile, for the Commanders, they fall under 500 now as they drop to 7-8. And they'll try to make amends next week as they host the Cleveland Browns.